So our chairman is here to take the podium. Before he comes up, I will call on Prof to give us an opening remark. But before all that, we will open this session with a prayer. And I would like Dr. Odunupe to open this session for us and call on the Almighty to come and be the real chairman of this occasion and back the rest of the other chairmen. Odunupe, please.
Thank you very much. I'm not a priest. Let's like one of you. When God answers prayers, the Lord answers. Let's say a prayer. Almighty Father, from Almighty. Thank you for being with me. You know our hearts, you know our desires, to stand for the truth, injustice, and fair play in our nation. To park freely as brothers and sisters of the same nation. In our God, that we can get things we need to know to help us march forward toward justice and equity. Be with us here and those representing from this where we come from, Nigeria, the US, the whole world. That we can focus on what's going on and stand with the truth. We also have to be at the end. It's been a victor. And forgive us as we have this night. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much. Okay. So I will call on Professor Edi to give us an opening remark before we bring up our chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you everyone who is here. Thank you, our national chairman from Nigeria, and all the old and new warriors in the room. Some of the things that we do now for both the Labour Party, the Obedient Movement, and the motivation for generating enthusiasm amongst our youth are part of the consciousness induced by the old war horses who are here, who have been mentioned, who were in the trenches with me during the Nadeko era. Attorney Loiluku and Chief Edwin Udempo were people who, at the time, I'm sure maybe there will be one or two others that I wouldn't be able to remember. Oh, not so many, Dr. Odunukwe. People who were here at the time, putting everything they had on the line, their profession, their lives, their families, to the time continue to fight for a new hope for Nigeria. That fight continues, and we are also glad to see that new consciousness continues to grow, and a lot of people are now coming in, making sure that the hope that P2B has kindled in all of us, that we continue to hand it over to generations to come. Building a new Nigeria is not a one-day effect. And if the likes of the people I mentioned, Dr. Dunukwe, Dr. Bailuku, and the rest of them are anything to go by, is that the fight for a new Nigeria should be primarily one of our thinkings, for the rest of our lives. Because if we believe in Nigeria to be a place for all of us who must not give them to rascals and rogues folks to continue to mess it up. That said, we have in our midst, like we introduced the national chairman of the Labour Party, Attorney Barrister Abure. And as you can see, he's a very young man. And when you put him side by side, chairman from the other parties, you can confidently say the others are ancestors. And which is important. And this is a discussion we've been having with him all the time he's been here, even before he got here. Is that for him to continue to remember that he's a young man where he is today, and that he must not allow old thinking to, what's important to know, the old thinking, don't let us be consumed and submerged by the old thinking. We must look forward, look for the good news of doing things, bring new young people in the political environment. And if there is anything this Biden movement has done for us, is that they have thrown out a bunch of very active, very much invested young people. And this new movement, new Nigerian movement. And of course, not to say because he's here, we have somebody like Castillo, Osamwewe, who is a candidate for governorship in Edo State. And Steve has been very, very involved in every way you can talk of. Just mentioning that this is something that needs to be done, he is there. He's giving it 120%, both physically, financially, and otherwise. So we are hoping, given the new thinking, as we continue to discuss with the national chairman, is that somebody like him must be given a fair, a level playing field to do his best to compete. And if he's the best competitor, he should win. And we're all rooting for you, Stephen. And on the final note, I want to say welcome to our national chairman, and we're going to be looking forward to a very good evening. One thing before I even hand over, a word of at least observation, maybe not observation, but we are glad that the national chairman is here, not because of the fact that he just came, but because of the various undercurrents that are happening in Nigeria, and I'm sure he's going to have the time to address it. I have gotten numerous calls from Nigeria, people who were mad at us, why are we hosting the national chairman? The national chairman has cases in court, those cases have not been resolved, he is not a national chairman and all that stuff. Now when you examine all that stuff, that undercurrent, it becomes clear to you that the target of all this is not Chairman Abure. The target of all these undercurrents you see in the Hospital B. They believe they can get and what people get through the attacks on the national chairman. And one of the things that we have told them before now and now is that nothing can deter us from allowing us to host the national chairman here. And one reason and one reason alone. And so far we have demonstrated that, which is that USA soil is strictly obedient. I will keep it that way.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prof. Okay. So we are are about to swing into action, I just want to let you know that we have arranged for good dinner for everybody. And the event will enlarge. A lot of people have called in, they are coming late because of course they paid for the dinner, so they will come. So don't look at the fact that there are empty spaces. They will fill up, we know. And I want to call on the national chairman of Nigerian Labour Party, the party in waiting to form the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And please, I want you guys, before he leaves here, to take as many pictures as possible with him. Because that might just be your passport. Because very soon, this band will be very difficult to reach. You know what power does. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor of introducing to you the authentic and only national chairman of Nigerian Labour Party.
Yeah.
Please, let's be seated, but I would have preferred that we occupy the front seats so that those who are coming will take the back seats. The chairman of the US chapter of Labour Party, the chairman of BC branch, all other distinguished members of Labour Party, all obedients who are here present. I want to first appreciate all of you for finding time to be at this event this evening. I appreciate you and welcome you for coming. Let me also use this opportunity to appreciate those who found time to be at the airport yesterday when I arrived. I want to appreciate you profusely for your support, for the hospitality, and your commitment towards the cause of the country, our country, Nigeria. Let me also quickly use this opportunity to appreciate all of you for the massive support that you gave to us in the just concluded election in Nigeria. The support before, the support during, and after the general election made us to make a difference. I appreciate the numerous contributions, financial contribution in terms of materials, and all sorts of support that you gave to us. I've always said that for those of you in diaspora, most of you are the breadwinners of your families back at home. And because you are the breadwinners of your family, they say, he who plays the piper dictates the tune. I know that your own contribution in terms of mining the mind of the people at home assisted us in a huge way in getting the support that we got back at home. Your opinion, no doubt, played a major role outcome of the election. Initially, they said we had no structure, but later on we saw that we had structures, and we became the party to beat Nigeria. As I speak with you now, out of your efforts and your contribution today, we have a governor who is already sitting in Abia State. We have 8 senators in the Senate, and we have 35 House of Rep members. We equally have a lot of members in the state houses of assembly across the country. In the presidential election, for the first time, we won 12 states. After they have rigged all the results, after they have manipulated it, we still were able to win 12 states, and PDP equally won 12. The ruling APC won 13. All of these successes would not have been possible without your support, financial support, without your commitment to that cause of Peter Obi and the general election that was held this year. In FCT, we won close to 80-something%. We denied PDP and APC, who have occupied the saddle of power for many years, the opportunity to get 25%. It is one issue we are trying to grapple with today. It has become an albatross for them. And Nigerians are watching, all eyes on the judiciary to see how that issue will be resolved. All of these successes that we have recorded wouldn't have been possible without your support. And I know that in the diaspora, United States play a major role in the vanguard of the support that we got. And so that's why in this my talk, I said I must find time to come and see you, to appreciate you first, and to also encourage you that all hope is not lost, and to also share with you our vision and our future programs, which I know, no doubt, you will all be interested in keying into it, so that we can continue the struggle to liberate our people from poverty, from hunger, and unemployment that has become the hallmark of our country, Nigeria. A vision to have a Labour Party, a party that will fight for the downtrodden, a party that will represent the interests of the people, like we now have found, started as far back as 1945, when Labour leader number 1, Pa Imodu, visited Britain in 1945, when Labour Party government was just enthroned in the United Kingdom. He came back to Nigeria and wanted to form the Labour Party. But of course, due to the struggle for independence, that vision was not realized at that point in time, until we had military, we eventually had independence, had military intervention in politics and all of that. And that vision was truncated for a long time, but was about to be crystallized in the Babangida transition. Labour Party was one of those parties that was to be registered until Babangida again truncated the whole processes and introduced 2 parties in Nigeria, NROC and SDP then. Labour Party then subsumed into the SDP. Again, when democracy eventually came in 1999, the vision to have Labour Party was being truncated as the military then refused to register the party. I'm sure you all remember Gani Faweli of blessed memory, who was a social crusader who fought and eventually went to court and caught INEC and the government to register other political parties, including his own, the National Conscience Party. And that gave rise to the birth of Labour Party in 2002. And the name of the party was changed in 2004 to Labour Party. It was registered as Party for Social Democracy. And in 2002 and 2004, we felt that why can't we just be our name, Labour Party? And that gave rise to changing of the name in 2004 to Labour Party. I've always been a player within that field. I actually joined the party in 2002 when it was formed. I was the first assistant state secretary of the party in Edo. In 2006, I became state secretary. We were part of those who struggled and brought Oshomole to run in 2006. And in 2007, when the Labour movement wanted to join and support Oshomole to become governor in Edo, I was stepped down again from being state secretary to assistant secretary to pave way for people who were coming to support us, to have that sense of belonging and sense of inclusiveness. And when we won in 2010, the then state secretary, Didi Adedo, was made commissioner for housing, lands and survey. I was again elevated to the position of state secretary. In 2014, I became deputy national secretary of the party. In 2015 December, the national secretary resigned and I became the national secretary of the party. I was again re-elected in 2019 as the national secretary of the party. 2020 December, the national chairman of the party died, Abdul Salam Abdulkadir, of blessed memory now. And in March 2021, NEC unanimously resolved that I should lead the party, and that was how I became the national chairman of the party. Before I took over as the national chairman of the party was almost in oblivion. The party was used as a tool for political bargaining. It was used for trading for party leaders. The party will wait, harvest votes from PDP and APC, and then give them tickets, trade them off, and collect money. But when I took over in 2021, I decided that I was going to launder the image of the party, reposition it, and have a party that can fight for the people, become the voice for the voiceless, and provide alternative platform for young Nigerians and for every credible Nigerian to have a platform that can fight for them, canvass for an alternative government policy, and make the difference in governance. And so when I took over, I decided to launder the image of the party and reposition it for what it is today. And Peter Blee mentioned to me that it is because of the credibility, the leadership style that he saw in the party that attracted him to join the party when the opportunity played out. And so I'm happy today that we have proved ourselves in the 2023 general election. Our participation and the participation of Peter Obi in this year's election, no doubt, changed the political narratives in the political space in Nigeria. They undermined us, they didn't take us seriously, but of course, by today, you will know that we actually met men and not boys. We believe that we gave them a run for their money, and if you look at what played out in the election and the election itself, you will see that they got confused in the process. They initially said election result will be transmitted real time. They probably thought that we would not win. But by the time they saw what was coming, they didn't have choice but to quickly shut down the IRF portal and did it haphazardly. And that showed clearly the failure that they have today, and they are struggling to cover all of this in court like we have seen. We participated effectively, and I can say very clearly that we won the presidential election of this year. I have the utmost confidence that the court will do the right thing. I believe that Peter Obi will become president.
Yes.
We have presented all the evidence before the court, and I want to say clearly that they are overwhelming evidence that we have presented before the courts. And I'm sure that if the court do the right thing, in the next few months, we'll be in Nassau Rock and we'll take it over.
Yes.
We can probably see that the country is not working. Things have become worse in the country since they took over. Insecurity has increased. In Jos, in Benue, name it. The people in IDP camps have increased. Insecurity has increased in the country. Fuel today is sold for almost 700 naira per liter. It is almost 1,000 naira today to $1. And it is almost 1,300 and something per £1. Inflation has increased, hunger is increasing, unemployment is increasing in the country. PO has said that it is too early to criticize them. That we should give them 100 days in office before we start criticizing them, and we are patiently waiting for that 100 days in office to see what they will have to offer. But I can tell you right away that nothing will change, that things will even get worse in the country. I say so because they don't have what it takes to drive the process of growth and development of the country. They have no commitment, they don't have that commitment. They don't have the innovative ideas that you need to change the socio-economic conditions of the country. They don't have the age, they don't have the strength, they don't have the energy and the sagacity to change the narratives in the country that is entrenched over the years. And I want to say, without sounding immodest here, that it is only Peter Obi and the Labour Party that has what it takes to change the situation in the country. For us, the Labour Party, and for Peter Obi, we have put our hands on the plow and definitely not look back. And we are determined to see how we can bring a new Nigeria. A Nigeria that cares, a Nigeria that works, a Nigeria that cares for its people, that have empathy, a Nigeria that will include diaspora participation in governance. A Nigeria that will entertain and reflect the interest and the well-being of those who are living outside the country, and even encourage them to go back with their wealth of resources, both intellectual, financial, and all others, and incorporate it in the emerging new Nigeria that is in our vision to build. In Nigeria that will work for the people, where there's security, where there's employment, where there's growth and development for the people. And I want to say that we will not rest on our oars until we reclaim the mandate and reclaim our country. Yes. I want to restate Labour Party's commitment to all of this. It is our intention to continue to expand the party. It is our intention to continue to expand and maintain the momentum that we have. We intend to expand the party. All those obedient who are not in the party now, we encourage them to be part and parcel of the party. We are developing a program where we make membership registration very, very easy, so that even those who are in diaspora, those who are in Nigeria, the young people who are the bedrock of the obedient movement, should be able to register as members of the party. We see this as the foundation upon which we can expand the party and continue to grow it. I have always said, and I believe in it very strongly, that it is not what you do during the election that matters. It is what you do even after an election that matters. It is only in Nigeria that you find that political parties are merely vehicles for election purposes. Political parties ought to be a vehicle for political mobilization, political education, in order to raise the consciousness of the people, first, to hold government accountable, and secondly, to capture power and be able to deploy your ideology in order to bring good governance and better life for the people. And therefore, for us, there won't be any dull moment at all. We are praying that the court processes, as I've said, will be in our favor, but whatever is the case, we are going to teach them how to play opposition politics in Nigeria. I want to say clearly that since 1999, when this democracy came, we've never had opposition political party. But this time around, we are going to see us play that role effectively. And I can assure you that between now and 2027, if we survive what will happen in the next few months, we will run them out of the country.
Yes.
And I'm sure that we saw that clearly, very clearly during the election, where they didn't visit, we visited it all. By 16th of December, they have packed all their bag and baggages, APC and PDP, and they shot their campaign. We continued our campaign through the Christmas and entered the new year, and they saw that we're not resting. Their members started shouting that they should return, that we've taken over the country. There's no place in the country that we didn't visit. Even against security advice, we visited Boko Haram places where there were high level of insecurity and we advised not to go. we visited it. Because PO will tell me, Chairman, is it not human beings that are living there? The people living there, are they not Nigerians? If people live there, will you go with me? I will say I will go with you. Seriously. PO did his birthday recently, and I'm sure you watched it. People advised that he should not visit Benue, that they were killing people in, is it Benue now, Just?
That's just.
Just last week,
Right.
yes. And that they were killing people there, and that we should not visit the place. And people said he was going to that place where they are killing people, where people are in IDP camp. And that's where he's going to celebrate his birthday. And he asked me, Chairman, will you go? And so PO's birthday this year was celebrated in IDP camp in Benue.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And so those are the kind of things that we want to bring on board. And I can assure you that by the time he takes over, by the time we take over by the grace of God, we're going to see a new Nigeria. We're going to do it differently.
Yes.
So the point I was trying to make is that we are going to expand the party in all fronts. So I encourage you, I appeal to you, that let's speak to our people, let's speak to the obedient movement, to take advantage of the registration of membership that we are going to carry out very soon, for all of us to be in the party. I believe that if we all team up together, register and become members of the party becomes stronger.
Yeah, sure.
And will be to be a meeting point for all of us, and we can truly have a political party that we can call that of the people. And we work for the people, and we'll be able to fight and ensure that we have a country that we call our own. PO has emphasized that the 2023 election will be the last that those of you living in diaspora will not participate.
Yes.
He said it categorically that if he wins, the first thing he's going to do is to ensure that you have a voting right from wherever you are in the world.
Yes.
And I know that he's a man of promise. That it is about the First Amendment that we are going to fight for when eventually we win and he becomes president. So I want to conclude this address so that I can give room for more questions. I appreciating all of you for this opportunity. Or probably you want me to comment on the Apapa issue. For me, I had thought it's actually not an issue. Like I told you before, the party was used for bargaining, and that is what they are used to. And therefore, the quarrel here is that number one, the ruling party is using them. At first, they wanted to get the leadership of the party so that they can withdraw PO's petition in the courts. But of course, we resisted it and they failed. Today, they are still afraid with the kind of synergy and with the force that we have within the party. And they feel that they needed to split the party and have some people to work with them in order to destabilize the party. We have realized that the party is gradually becoming a major political force to reckon with in the country. And what they can do to it is to try to create division within the party. And so they have paid them huge sums of money. And I'm saying this without trying to run them down. And that's why I didn't want to comment on it, so that it doesn't look as if, because I have the privilege of being here, I'm running them down, but that's the reality on the ground. And I'm sure that you all saw it when they attempted to come to the courts to withdraw Peter Obi's petition, I'm sure you saw the beating that they were giving at the courts. We have defeated them all round. In the high courts, I've defeated them. The high court heard clearly that what they were trying to do is a coup d'etat that will not work. In the court of appeal, they proceeded to court of appeal and have also defeated them in the court of appeal. What they do is to promote lies and propaganda. 3-4 days back, they came back again. I'm sure that you saw it. Probably that's why some of you were worried that another court of appeal in Owerri, sitting in Abuja, have affirmed them. They actually lost the case. What played out was that in the Imo State primaries, their group organized 3 primaries. Their own group, their papa group. They organized primaries where one Basil Maduka emerged, Joseph Okiago emerged, and one other candidate emerged. 3 primaries within one group. It is within themselves the Maduka sued one to court. They didn't add me to it. They didn't add Atan Acholono to it, who is the candidate. And one of them got judgment against them. Said, okay, no judgment really. The court heard that they had no jurisdiction to hear the case. But the court went ahead to make some sideline comments. And by the time we saw that judgment, we felt it wouldn't be good for us to leave it. It was good for us to appeal it. Because in the Nigerian system, anything can happen.
Yep.
So it was on that basis we decided that we're going to appeal it and even join in the matter. And so that was what took us to Court of Appeal. By the time we got to Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal held that number one, the court have already said they have no jurisdiction. And it was absolutely unnecessary for us to be appealing against the judgment. Because the court have already said they have no jurisdiction to hear the matter. And that every other comment that was made by the judge was so bitter, and that we didn't need to bother ourselves about the appeal, and it was consequently dismissed. No order as to leadership was made, no order as per the candidate was made, and they went on air and carried out the propaganda that Court of Appeal have affirmed them as the chairman, have removed all the candidates. If you go to INEC website today, it is our candidate that is there. It is our name that is there. And so to reassure you that the leadership of the party is intact, we are here and we are determined to continue to provide leadership. We are here to continue to serve. And I assure you that even if the matter gets to Supreme Court, we will still defeat them. A new Nigeria is indeed possible.
Yes.
And people like our Papa and Co cannot trumpet it. So let me thank you once more. I appreciate you for your time. I know that you are very busy people. For you to find time to come and be present to be here this evening is not what I'm taking for granted. I will take it seriously. I am indebted to you and will reciprocate all this, your hard work, your gesture, by the grace of God, when we take over very soon, you will see the dividend of democracy. So I thank you and God bless you.
right, everybody. Now we're going to go to phase 2, which is the question and answer section of the event. So here's how we're going to go. If you have a question, please indicate by raising your arm. We're going to call everyone one by one. Please limit yourself to just one question, please. Don't ask more than one. If time permits, then we can always come back to you, okay? So when you come up to, you know what, we have the mic, I'm gonna bring the mic to you. Please introduce your name and then ask your question. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Engineer Ochiaga O.C. Eluchie. I'm privileged to be here in your presence, sir. Now, the question I have is that it is quite common in Nigeria where people get into offices on the coattails of the strong party, and then when they get there, they defect to the dominant party. We see that time and time again in different states. What are we doing to ensure that those who were fortunate to be swept in that tsunami that occurred during the election do not defect to the parties they find themselves? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so probably we take maybe like 5 questions, or we do we do 5 or we do 3 questions and we answer and then come back? What do you think?
3.
Okay, so we do 3 questions, answer them.
Because you're one of the organizers, let's give room to guess. Anybody? Oh, okay, all right.
Good evening, everybody. My chairman, you are very welcome. Thank you. So my name is Patrick Obinasero. I'm from DMV. So my question is just in line with what the last speaker said. Most of our members that got into the House of Assembly and Senate, they ruled on the platform of the party. We're expecting them to, be the torchbearers of the mandate and the momentum we use to take them into power. But we do not hear much opposition from them. In fact, we are hearing some unpleasant stories. Some of them are sitting, praising the existing administration. It's not as if we're expecting them to really, but my question is, do you have meetings with them? Do you discuss with them, tell them that the people are not feeling you guys in the power and all that? We expect to hear more from them. We watch on TV, the Assembly, Senate House, when they have their meetings. We don't hear anything from our members, nothing. So we want to see more from them. So that's why I'm asking you some opportunity here. So let's hear what you say about this.
All right. Last question. Okay.
Okay, let me check.
Yeah.
Just one? Okay.
So my question is. Thank you. My name is Chinaya Esoro, and I also stay in the DMV. My question is, we in diaspora, we sometimes feel, I don't want to say used, but after election, we don't get to participate in any way. We know the role we play, we know how we go out of our way to push our families, our communities to do the right thing. But we don't have any representation, we don't have any presence. exist. We're just like money bags. So, what is the plan for diaspora? How do we come in? What is your plan for us? We need people, we are tired of playing like side roles or supporting. We want to participate. And what are you doing about that? Thank you.
Yes, the first question has to do with people defecting to the dominant party. It's a major challenge that political parties are having in the country. A lot of people, after winning, they tend to leave their party and go to another party. We've seen it in several instances, especially with members in the National Assembly and even in state houses of assembly. What we have done is to ensure that every now and then we engage those who are elected under the platform of the party. We have organized retreats, we have organized dinners. In fact, every month we meet with all our elected representatives, especially those in the Senate and those in the House of Reps. We've been very consistent with that. And we have, in all of these engagements, we emphasize the needs and constantly remind them that they all root on the back of the obedient movement to become who they are today. The legislation is quite clear that whoever defects will obviously lose their position, except when there is division in the party. And we've also long pretended in bringing to their attention those legislation. And we have also shown that we'll be willing to proceed against them if they defect from the party. When we had a governor in one of those states, Olusegun Mimiko, we were able to set the example and ensure that some members who defected from the party then, we were able to have some of their seats declared vacant. And so we've emphasized all of this, and we believe strongly that we may be able to hold them accountable to the party. A lot of them, okay, let me not say a lot of them, few of them, like we saw, we're already making a lot of uncomplimentary comments here and there, and we didn't make pretenses about disassociating ourselves from those comments that we made. And I can tell you that you trust our obedient patrons who came out openly without pretense to castigate them and to put them where they belong. And I'm sure that we'll continue to put them on that check, and we'll continue to engage them, because we believe that engagement will be the answer. At this stage, there's really nothing you can really do to stop somebody who is making up his mind to defect. But all we can continue to do is to constantly engage them and stop them from moving and leaving the party. So along this line, we continue to do our best to to see that we keep everybody in the party. But I'm sure that for somebody who is a wise man at this time, will see that the era of PDP and DPC is ending. And then he takes a smart person who is already in the new beginning to leave the new era and go back to the old era. I'm sure that a lot of them will not want to commit suicide. Because whoever leaves the current vision, the current movement, to go to APC or PDP at this time, will simply be described as somebody who is not a smart person, who does not have vision, and may not even be qualified to remain in this movement. And so for me, I think that I'm sure that they will be smart enough to see that the era of PDP and APC is ending. That it is in their collective best interest to remain where they are. But we continue to engage them, we continue to talk with them, we continue to educate them, and we continue to give them resource material that I think that they will need to do better in the house. The second question is also very closely interrelated, except that we are not speaking up the way we expect. We've also said so, we've also been emphasizing it, and of the need for them to square up and speak more for the people. From the one when they were elected, in fact, from that first dinner that we had, I've always told them that they must speak and be by the people. They must identify with the people at every point in time. And at whatever position they are going to canvass, they must remain with the people. Otherwise, they will lose steam and lost out completely in the new era that we are going into. As for the party, we decided that we are going to continue to engage them and even prepare bills on their behalf, prepare resource materials on their behalf and hand over to them in order to enhance their participation and their effectiveness in the House. And to that extent, we have several committees, legal and so on and so forth, that is working on several legislation that we are going to give them. For instance, we believe very strongly that there should generally be a review of the Constitution of the Electoral Act arising from the pitfalls that we discovered in the general election of this year. We believe strongly that Labour Party and its representative in the House should be in the forefront of the agitation for electoral reform in this House. And therefore, that committee is working very hard, and I'm sure that very soon we'll begin to empower them so that we can speak more in the interest of the people in the House. Yes, the third question has to do with diaspora participation. And I'm sure that that is why I'm even here to encourage you and to reassure you that your collective effort, your contribution will not be a waste. If eventually we win, you can be rest assured that the interest of diaspora will be adequately and effectively accommodated. Apart from Edo and one of that states that I'm visiting, my major engagement of town hall meetings is in the diaspora, and that's to show the importance that we attach to your participation in governance. Like I said in my remarks, for those of you who are in the diaspora, you are the breadwinners of your family at home, and to that extent, you play a major role in minding their minds, you have a major role in directing the affairs that plays out at home. And therefore, and our greatest support, our greatest source of inspiration in the Labour Party and the immediate movement, I must say, is from the diaspora. And to that extent, you must give credence, you must give priority to the area where you have your major supporters. And so for us in Labour Party and for the immediate movement, we take diaspora participation very, very, very seriously. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. And I'm sure that USA will play a major role in this development. And so I want to assure you that you can go to sleep, that if God help us and we win, and it will be because of this, you will be part and parcel and play a major role in that government. I can assure you. And even in the party, I can assure you that even from now, even before we are declared, before we reclaim our mandate, you are going to be playing major roles in the affairs of the party, because in the immediate, that's where we have control and we have power. And that's why I'm here as national chairman, to get you involved in the activities of the party, to expand your scope of participation. All of these put together will show to you that your participation is going to be very, very effective in the party and the government.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. So on that note, I think we're going to put a pause for further question and answer, because you can see we're going to set up the table so we can have dinner, because they are on a time crunch too. So after we finish eating, then we can continue. Thank you.
But they are still setting the table.
Let's just make a comment before.
I think we should still take like 2-3 questions. After the chair, no, after you.
I just want to make a comment to add to the commitment you just made to the diaspora, and also to reaffirm the question of Chile, because I know I've had this discussion with leadership, particularly around what happened during the campaign. And I'm glad that the chairman is making this commitment, and we're happy that we have him on camera.
So you can hold
So just like PUP or that, they will just weed out evidences. Because that discussion around when the presidential campaign council was rolled out, and it wasn't happy that I didn't see a lot of representation by the diaspora in the campaign council. And the chairman in our discussion had already told us how things were, how chaotic things were at the time, which made it impossible for any deliberative arrangement to be ascribed to that nomination or selection. And of course, we also know that our principal distanced himself from the selection of that committee as it were. So again, I want to say that yes, the past is proven, but the effort we continue to put and the recognition that we continue to I want to put my money where the national chairman's talk is, that we hope when the next call is made, and that we will all be on his doorstep asking for what belongs to the diaspora.
My name is Mr. Chairman. Sorry, Victor Onyekaben from Washington, D.C. Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to welcome you with the rest of us and to thank you for the great effort you've put in building a new movement that swept through Nigeria like wildfire as it did. One question I want to ask is, after the submission of when the court process was concluded and recently, we know the other side. What we know of them is so much crudity, so much lies, and they sell a lot of dummies. One of the dummies is, that we noticed was the suggestion that there could be a fresh election. We knew it was coming from them. It was out of trepidation, the fear that the deluge of evidence at the court was overwhelming. So the question is the Labour Party ready, prepared for a rerun? That's one. Another question from that is, are there any plans in the works to align with any other group or groups? I recall that our principal recently dismissed it as a rumor that there are talks in Kano between the party and the Atiku and the man from Kano Bangladesh. So, given the fact that he dismissed it as rumor, I would like to find out from you whether the party has foreclosed any such conversations in the future. Are you also preparing for everyone? What are the preparations of that? And before I conclude, let me add that, let me just plead that in the event of a rerun, the party should remember that they are dealing with. I'm not sorry to say criminals. Very crude criminals. They were bold to tell us during the campaign that they knew they were going to lose and they knew what to do. At that point, those of them of people in my group, we made efforts then to we were suggesting, was it possible to recruit the Starlink technology to help? But the discussions stalled due to, So, are you guys, is the party preparing, given the fact that they're dealing with, given what we know of the other side, that in the event of a rerun, that they may even be worse than they were during the last election?
Thank you. My name's Mazi Chief Sunny Arroy. I'm from Abia State. I've been a party stalwart in the past and in present. I'm an activist and I'm obedient. I have walked the walk and I have talked the talk. I want to learn what to an earlier question asked by some comrades here about what the people in diaspora might eventually benefit from their efforts. It's not easy to put in effort in the United States. It's easy in Nigeria to run around politicians because I practiced politics there before I came here. If you don't have food to eat in your house in Nigeria, and you hear there's a political events happening next door, if you go there, you might come up with a plate of food, and at times they will share money too. It doesn't happen in diaspora. In diaspora, if you leave your job, one shift, you've lost that money. That's true. So, and you cannot move easily from, say, New York to DC. Benwike is here. He knows what I'm talking about. So these are really very strong issues. But what I'm going to say is, you are the national chairman. We've already made some gains. At least I know we have a state in our kitty, in our back. We have some members in the parliament, the state, senate, representatives, and some state house of assembly. It is you, the party, that could put your feet down and say to some of our elected officials, listen, make space for these people. Don't take them for granted. Even if it's the smallest position, you know, like there are board appointments very much suitable for anybody in diaspora. I've served in such capacities in the past. And there are a lot more things that we could do that probably the party doesn't know right now. If I were made the returning officer for Imo State, I wouldn't hold that election that day. We have to understand the dynamics of what's the people at the top and the people that are following. The people at the top, like Kyo and the Honorable National Chairman here, cannot come out and make certain declarations. It has to come from you. Yeah. So my major take is there plans from the party to put in a word for people in diaspora that you have to look in this direction, even if it's 30% or even 10%, for us to have them
do what they do. Thank you.
So please everybody remember, just ask one question, and you all know that we started very, very late and we are running behind. It's just one question. I will give you my next time.
Good evening. My name is Eko Swana. I prefer to speak without a mic. You can hear.
They want here. In fact, I'll go my way.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, you're welcome to the DMV area. I'm not going to ask a question, but I just want to speak on my mind. It's going to be short. And what I'm going to say draws from my previous participations with governments and politicians who have come here with very eloquent and beautiful speeches on the participation and how much they need the diasporans. Unfortunately, those who put their hands out to help have gotten disappointed. You've made a wonderful speech, and I think I'm too small to hold you by it. If not, I would have said I will hold you by it. But tapping from previous experiences, after coming here, we get home, there's no doubt we can't even see any one of them. I'll give you one example. And this happened way back during the Achikudema days, when they were setting up the Muslim University Hospital. At that time, I happened to be the chairman of all the Nigerian doctors in the DMV area. We planned that hospital, offered our services free. We did not know when that hospital was commissioned.
Wow.
We did not know when it was commissioned.
Under which government?
That's actually there was quite some time.
PDP.
I had to distance myself from politics, having to anything to do with politicians. I'm speaking my mind as I say. Now, we know, beautifully enough, you've told us that we are the breadwinners of our families back there. And it's on record that the money sent home by diasporans all over is more than the Nigerian budget. So apparently the diasporans are running Nigeria. What happens to the generated revenue? I remember when I was in the PDP, a sympathizer, because I don't vote. And the chairman came, as you came. Well, there I told him, please, that country will work if we have discipline from the top, not from below. The mic was taken away from me. You listen to me this time. Please, all I'm pleading, let your yes be yes and your nay be nay, because I know the powers of the chairman of the party. The chairman controls even the government. The chairman controls the president if the president is from his party. You have told us this, that you need the diasporans. Yes, we are all Nigerians, and we know our faults. But let me take it that those who've been in the diaspora are 70% polished. I don't want to give ourselves 100. Please, let your word be your word. And when you're choosing the diasporans, remember I said 70% make due diligence, find out everything, and please, I personally, I'm tired of staying here, and I want to go home, and I don't want to go home to my nation that is worse than when I left it and came out. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think that should be all. My name is Manuel Johnson. Chairman, thank you for coming. I want to thank everybody here for the concern you are showing for Nigeria. It's not because you don't have anything, that's why you are fighting for a good Nigeria. I just want to appreciate you all. Chairman, I want to ask this question. What does Labour Party stand for and what is their ideology? You see, when people cross from party to party, that means if you don't stand for anything, you fall for. If you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. So if, for me, I'm still hesitating to join any party, to join Labour Party. But I want to know what they stand for, their ideology. If you have a like minds and people that stand for something, like in US, you see Republican and Democrat, they don't cross parties, because the Nigerian parties, they don't have ideology, they don't stand for anything. I've been contemplating because of Chairman, I've been talking with you and you, maybe I'll join the Labour Party. Most of us, the obedience, we believe in obedience, we stand for something, we see his ideology. I went to Nigeria to campaign for him, the first time I campaign for anybody. I did video, if I stand for something, I would die for that game. So I want you are advising obedience to join Labour Party. I want you to start preaching these words Labour Party stand for. These are ideology. So that anybody that joins will not easily fall away or join other parties. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that should be all. Okay, so I can take the answers now. Okay, first, somebody asked about Iran. These are issues that are still before the courts and will not be too appropriate for us to categorically be commenting on issues that are in the courts. But I want to say that if there's wrong, we'll be ready and participating in the wrong. I also want to quickly say that the party is not in talk. The party is not in any major talk with any other party as of now. When they carry that news of being in major or in major talks with other parties, Obi's photograph was there, Atiku's photograph was there, and there was Obi's photograph, Apokaso's photograph. Obi confirmed to me that it is the photograph he took in 2019 at Atiku's house. So it was purely a propaganda. So we are not in talk with any political party as to major. Yes, he spoke extensively on what the diaspora will benefit when we are confident. And I'm sure that I've answered this question, but probably for emphasis of it. We believe very strongly that once we have good governance in the country, a lot of other things will fall in place. If we take over the country and there is a new Nigeria, which I believe is uppermost in the heart of all of those in diaspora, I believe that what we want, first and foremost, is for us to have a country that we can call our own, a country that works, a country where there is security, where there is job opportunities, a country that cares, a country that moves towards development. I'm sure that's first and foremost first and foremost is that's the yearning and aspirations of a lot of us in diaspora. We want a country that works, a country where there is justice, where there is equal opportunity for every person. And I can assure you that that's what Peter Obi represents. And by extension, that's what we also now represent. And we believe that when there is good governance, when there is equity and justice, when the economy is good, we have a spiral effect on every aspect of life. And then to that extent, you become the first beneficiary. If, for instance, there's employment in Nigeria, there's security in Nigeria, most people are employed, I'm sure that will reduce the pressure that you go through even in diaspora. It will reduce the level of dependence that you have here. I'm sure that a lot of you still send money to your people at home to go to hospitals, to access healthcare, to access education, and several matters. If the government is able to make provision for some of those things, healthcare, education, and so on and so forth, it will also first and foremost reduce the pressure that you are in here in diaspora. The resources that you send home for some of these services, I'm sure that will remain with you and will go a long way in enhancing your own well-being and will increase your own source of wealth. And so, the first benefit that you are going to get if we are in government is that you are going to have good governance that will change the economic and social conditions of our people, which will have a spiral effect on those of you in diaspora. We've also talked about things like diaspora participation, voting, and a whole lot of them, which I'm sure that our presidential candidate and the Labour Party is committed to. The only aspect that is left is about probably the political appointment that the last speaker talks about. I mean, appointment in terms of governance and the whole lot. That I think is what can also be, is what the presidential candidates and those who are elected will also be able to determine. And I'm sure that PO will do what he needs to do along this line. The last speaker talks about how others have come to life as party leaders and those in office. Probably that's what we are all fighting against, and that's why that's what gave rise to the obedient movement in the first instance. That's what has also brought the Labour Party to the limelight. And in all our campaigns, we have all said that our slogan is dependent on performance, capacity, integrity, and all of that. And so, for me, we cannot destroy the very foundation that has brought us to where we are. If we simply behave like PDP and APC, then I can assure you that the party will obviously go down the train fast and fast. And for me, as the national chairman of the party, I will not get myself involved in what will destroy the party immediately. I think that we are building this party for ourselves and for future generations. And therefore, what will keep this party and keep us is that we do and follow the promises that we are making. That will make us stand out. And I believe that we are already standing out. Like I said, all our engagements have shown that we are standing out. In our behavior, in our attitude, in our dressing, in our behavior, in the way we talk, I'm sure it's already sending signal to you that we are different from others. So I can assure you that it will not be the usual promise of the politicians. I can assure you that I promise you I will be able to deliver on those promises. Even where there are genuine challenges in not meeting those promises immediately. We will also be generous enough to engage you as we are doing now, for us to find solutions to those challenges that is making us unable to meet those promises. So I want to assure you that we'll be different, as we're already different, and we'll keep to our promises. Somebody like Peter Obi, for instance, is already, his pedigree, his dignity is already being known to all of us. And I'm sure that's why the whole of us are following him and supporting him to be president of Nigeria. They say a fish that is already dried cannot be paid. Peter Obi is already known, his character is known. And I don't think if he becomes president, he's going to change and not fulfill his promises. And for those of us who are following him, who have also become his apostle, I'm sure that will also not change. Part of the challenges we have in the country is leadership. I believe that if the head is rotten, the body too will be rotten. If the head is upright, I believe that the body will be upright. Peter Obi is a symbol of this struggle, and I'm sure he will not change. And so for us who are also following him, I'm sure that we won't change. Now, the ideology of the party is very clear and simple, like you have seen. The party is a party for social democracy, party for the downtrodden, a party that is passionate to work for the people, a party that believes in welfareism for the people. And that's why the symbol of the party is father, mother, and child. In a way, what it means is that every government policy must revolve around the human being. Any government policy that does not enhance the well-being of the human being then should not be embarked upon by government and political parties. Our own philosophy is anchored purely on welfare for the people, industry for the people, growth and development for the people. All the way from beginning to the end is centered around the human being and the person. And I can say very clearly that this also takes its roots from the Nigerian Constitution. If you look at chapter 2 of the 19 of our Constitution, which has been repeated from the 1999 Constitution down the line, even to the Republican Constitution, is very clear that the natural resources of the country must be used to provide the maximum welfare for the benefit of the people. The Constitution went further to say that the national economy must be managed in such a way as to give maximum welfare to the people. And this is all what the Labour Party is all about. So our ideology is different, our behavior is different, our attitude is different. And this is what we have been able to showcase since Peter Obi joined the party. And I'm sure that we are seeing the difference. You cannot compare me today with the PDP national chairman. You can also not compare me today with the APC national chairman. The difference is clear. I don't believe in the paperwork alone. I believe in living what you believe in. And so, in terms of character, in terms of content, in terms of the paperwork, the Labour Party is distinct and is different.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just before we transition to the next stage, we had a few people that came in without introduction. So I would like to introduce Dr. Ego Uswala. He is a shaker and a maker of Washington, D.C. area. Anybody that lives in Washington, D.C. Chief Stanley Osadiaye, when he heard that his brother was coming, he said he liked to go. Chief Stanley, you're welcome. You're welcome. You will have a time with your brother. Oh, you have a question. Okay, you get a chance to question. And then we also have in our midst Mrs. Nneka Onwudiwe. She used to be here, and she's the daughter of the famous Dr. Ben Igwe. So those of us that live in the Washington area, we know a dad. Now, she is an activist and a strong Labour Party member, and she was the secretary of the people that conducted the Imo State primary for Labour Party. So you are welcome. And
She is the current treasurer of the Imo State Executive. And she is part of my delegation.
so, welcome. Last among the list is that a professor, pastor of ours told us a story. He said he went to church, and the pastor said, every man here that does not take instruction from the wife, stay on this side. And behold, out of 10, 9 men went to this side, and only 1 man was left. So he called the man and said, so you don't take instruction from your wife? The man said, no, she told me to stay here. So I want to introduce the one that gives the instruction. To you. And the neck that turns the head. My wife, Linda. Thank you so much. So we are going to take a group photograph and then transition to the dinner. I know some people had called me before coming. They say, oh, they're having difficulties to send money or buy the ticket or whatever. If you have your check, you meet Sister Chi Esoro. For those who have their check here, but the dinner is for everybody. So if you have your check here or you want to make a donation towards the dinner, please meet Sister Chi Esoro. She's back there. So we are going to transition to the photograph and continue with the dinner. During the dinner session, we will continue with our discussion. So we still have 2 hours of discussion with our August visitor. I have told you, make sure you take pictures with this man. Because very soon, you will not be accessible anymore.
So let me say that I will be very, very accessible.
Patrick, no. The preacher. Go.
Thank you. I'll post it for my people.
Welcome.
All right.
attention, everybody. Can I make a big announcement, please? It's time to go and get your dinner. But here's the way we're going to go. The person who's going to lead the procession will be the chairman, Labour Party USA, Professor Eddie will lead the procession, and then the chairman, Barrister Abure, will follow Eddie. Then chairman of Labour Party DMV, Brother Chuma, will be third in line. Then the ladies will line up behind Chukuma, and then all the men will come after. So please respect the order of procession.
Okay.
Thank you. Bless the food. Oh, okay. Since I already have the mic right here. All right. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the dinner we're about to participate in tonight. Please bless us. Let it nourish our bodies. Bless the hands that provided the food. And all this we ask in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. All right. Where's the professor? Professor? Oh, okay. Prof, he's not here. Okay. Prof is not here. You want to leave the barrister? We have to go.
You have our number also.
Madara, we need to talk.
I'm sorry. Thank you, sir.
Every day my party, every day my jolly. Oh, you move your body. No time for story. Where my woman? Who's supposed to love you?
All the ladies first. All the ladies. All the ladies, please join the line. Ladies, last call. All about the name. Ladies, last call. Everybody come on, let's dance.
Thank you.
You have your own table, huh? Well, all right. Every place was occupied. Okay, I'll just start doing this. That's very nice. I want to see that in a desk of the table by the where are they? I hope it's very nice. Oh, yeah. I think only because too much. Yes. I was not at the moment. Wow. Get your drink. What do you want to drink? No, for now, I just want to eat.
Right, finish. Right, my name it look complex in your communication. But it look very simple in real life.
Yeah. That's why we cannot assume, right?
Yeah. Don't judge a book by its very simple man. But the right thing
I was like, why are you going to make it at all? It looks like you went to church or something.
one of them why very why not around the party. I just have to be there. No. You were in the children and I went to the party. That was a long time. Long time. What about his family? Why? Wait, which one? You guys sign up on that. Get that around for very big. Was the reason why you didn't hear by them on the congratulations. I work for the government. So what I want to know is what they have worked in the judiciary. I'm a bad news bringer. America has been playing this game behind the scenes. I know what they can do to that. The lady is sent out. I don't even remember her. She was 8 years or so. She later became the ambassador of now they are sending it to the
Are you serious? Wow.
He told me, I went home there, he worked with me. He called me, he said, where are you? In America or in Nigeria? I said, I'm in Nigeria. He said, when you're coming home, you're back. I got there, I got hit up. They wanted to meet Leah and I went to Los Angeles. So I went. What she told me shocked me for an I told her, I know all of this. Don't hide access to what I'm doing never happened. Maybe I
Look at that. Wow.
So we just said we I went back. We're always that and what was your response? My stock was very high. When I thought I spent 5 minutes to go back, it was working her dog. And if I had can I bring that person? I want to have I just let you have. The way that yes, then his driver to pull off. So from the side, Air France, really walk and made them invite me. So I didn't want to invite her. When you so I said, this is what I'm going to get money. wanted to give a tweet, one sentence, to the trap. For some reason, either to what did you or just being a tweet and what? The US expect Nigerian judiciary to do the right thing. But don't say anything. Because you know, now if you use embassy, made it, it's one thing to do it right. It means that the first thing was not the right thing. That's why I wanted to bring out. So I'm getting here, and then it takes 4 days for me to take my presentation. Then that of course. It'll just take. Not too long ago, I had a speaker for my dad. He was telling me the end of the war. My wife is so the Lord is here to Today are the ones driving to
and that is to tell us that the photograph is very just on paper. It is only paper work.
It's on paper.
That's it. That's it. Any policy that's been implemented that will help America, that's what they're going to put. Doesn't matter which part. But the relationship, that's part of what I want to mention. The relationship is those who work with the folk.
It's not only that. No American interest, no South American interest.
Right.
I had the privilege of talking to them. They wanted me to communicate. And I asked them, what is your interest?
But who are you asking?
Intelligence community, CIA. What is your strategic interest in this? They couldn't answer that question except to tell me their primary interest to make sure there's no crisis, so that the population doesn't overflow to other West African countries. You haven't told me the truth.
You were giving a diplomatic answer.
And what I wrote on my bill, they will not approve. They didn't approve it until the deadline. I don't know what they did. They will handle it. They had what they wanted me to say. I won't say it. America is a horrible country.
The relationship issue. It's not a relationship issue.
It is. But that relationship must serve the US interest. We don't have American interest.
That relationship is the prevention of that relationship crisis. No, they shouldn't be dealing with the people that. So the issue is that relationship
what is right to them is what serves American interest. If it doesn't serve American interest, they close their eyes.
Because who will believe that with what the neighbor has done, right, that they will stay in that place? Who's going to be that right here?
Imagine, even before this, before election was done, we happened to have a relationship. So when they were here, we had a they were mandated to be here.
Mandated by who?
Who are those people?
They were mandated to be here.
Imagine that. Meanwhile, the elections in Africa, people here are not even voting.
Way beyond this country and Britain and China. And that was the
Yeah, they have the feeling that we can look them in the face.
yeah. They can't stand our that.
That's explains why when INEC declared the logo, we were waiting for America to get on the foreign secretary was reporting that according to the presentation. We were like, it was on his own that the Biden administration would still get something later for here.
No question was they were mandated to be here. So that means that those who mandated to, they will detect to you what happened. What is that? No, the drink. The drink. No, the drink. Your drink. Lemonade. Lemonade. So something like
why would Lincoln call Mr. Congratulations, right? Because that he made a mistake. We didn't even know that the man knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. And then he went to Mama that which he wrote the letter she wrote. She said she was going to respond to her for real. The next week after the event, there was in the month of July, I don't know what it was. There was an important holiday that was coming. We thought that was that holiday that Biden was going to say something to say no, that he did not agree to what INEC did. People don't really do anything, which means that whatever the secretary, foreign secretary said, stands.
They know what they're doing. It's all about American experience.
Yeah, you know that these people will be getting there.
They can't use you.
Exactly.
They cannot use you.
We cannot go from India to the present to the moon.
If it doesn't happen now, it will happen to others.
Listening, brother, not that bad. It doesn't happen now. Yeah. It will not happen in the that is not the now, how? Exactly. It's probably not going to want to come in and take what for. You know? No Nigeria that does not that would have me. Yeah, they got me inside out. They couldn't find anything. But if it doesn't happen now, forget it. Another 40, 50 years. When we started, so and that's just saying that. So if it doesn't happen, I don't think that is right. Using all the younger upcoming politicians who help. So, whoever is not going to magically appear from nowhere, you have to be somebody who is already on the ground. So, in Nigeria, we have a state like in a better place.
20 of them are distracted. They all talk on the hand. So go ahead to vote. You go ahead and vote. And they are tired of this. And they can they are tired of this. Vote. They are tired of this. So this is the kind of image that's going on. That's what you're saying. You know what I mean? This doesn't happen now. It's going to be a while to happen.
I have to agree with your position. If we miss it now, you'll be another generation.
Oh, yeah.
But I know there's a hand, there's no time. What is going on?
Yes, whose hand?
We will not say.
You had to see who was not relevant. You had to see had money. He paid for an hour of apartment. He gave them pocket money. You volunteer activity all over. Had money. That was it. He made money from people like this. Those educations were built undermined by him. And he was getting money from all his countries. In New York. He worked in the government very soon. Feed into the same deal that was making millions out of. And I was to be organizing the team. That's how good he was making money. So he was very true.